Good morning, boys and girls. A little bit of something different for you today. I am joined by Luke from the Three Hammers. I've got one question for him to start off with. Luke, are you my stalker?
I could be. I could be. I mentioned you enough on my channel, but because I thought when I watched it this afternoon on the train, actually, I was like, "Oh, he
Hold on,
doesn't swear."
with headphones over the train with headphones.
Yeah. Because what I usually do when I come home from work, I put your video on. I watch it on the train home, and I was like, "Oh, he doesn't swear. He doesn't say shit." And it's like, "Oh, that sounds like our channel. We don't swear." I was like, "He's got me. He's got me."
yeah. Well, I thought you were very, very polite, and I'll have to get the app. How you managed to make your voice
Yeah.
robot.
It was one of them Home Alone things. Do you remember the Home Alone thing?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Funny enough, you say Home Alone with the kids. I'm going to be all set to watch that about 10 times
Definitely, mate. Definitely. I can't wait. I love that.
over the next month. Right, look, I'm going to cut straight to the chase. We're going to have a chat about all things West Ham today. But before I do, I'm just going to say this out there. You are one of the nicest guys I've ever met. In West Ham YouTube, and you're just an all-round nice guy, right? You do videos all the time. And I don't think you get enough subscribers. Actually, you don't get enough views. So all I'm saying is, to my lovely subscribers here, go and give Luke a little watch. Three Hammers. I'm going to link. In fact, I'm going to link your latest video at the end of this video, and I'm going to put the link to your channel below because I think you're doing good content. I think you're nice. I think you're friendly. I think you're funny, and I think you deserve more views. It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. I really appreciate it. As you know, mate, you've been on the show a couple of times, haven't you? We always have a good laugh. I've met you in person a few times as well when you've had a few sherbets. But you was very polite and pleasant. So, yeah. But, yeah, I really appreciate it, mate. And if you know, mate, I don't know if you catch some of my videos every now and then. I'm always quoting you, mate, because a lot of the times you inspire a lot of my videos, to be honest with you, mate. And I will say it now, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your arse. You are one of the best West Ham presenters out there, mate. And I think you've progressed. You can tell, your presenting's better, your editing, and yeah, you're probably my favourite YouTuber to watch.
Oh, mate. Oh, well, we're having a bit of a love in here.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you. No, listen, you're a nice guy. I did notice. I watched the video the other day, and I heard you saying about it, and I thought, you know what, I need to get Luke on because you're so complimentary, so nice. I mean, it's the least we can do, and I know we're gonna have a good old chat about all things West Ham, certainly, mate. Just a little. I know because I have been watching your videos, so. How's it going for you this season? What are you feeling last season? I mean, just in the context of, I think everybody's obviously constantly expecting us to struggle. I think everybody's expecting us to sort of drop off a cliff. I think sometimes you got to pinch yourself with West Ham and you look at where we are in the table and look at the positive goal difference. We seem to be good defensively. We seem to be able to score goals, almost sometimes irrespective of who's in the team. He's keeping a starting lineup. How have you read it since last lockdown? Have I got it right? That since last lockdown, it's been a very, very steady Eddie, solid ship, basically.
Definitely, mate. Well, when the fixtures came out, I think we was all sitting there, mate. The same thing. Like, yeah, relegation season again. Like, we're not going to have no points after 7-8 games. And then, like after that Newcastle game, and I'm repeating stuff, but it's like something happened. We haven't had that many bad performances. We're not pretty to watch. Let's not kid ourselves. But mate, we're not a nice team to play, and that's what I like. I'll take that. I don't want us to be getting beat all the time because we played nice football, or we're not turning up. We're getting wins when we're not supposed to get wins. We're getting draws when we're not supposed to get draws. Mate, I'm happy. I am. I actually quite look forward to watching West Ham again, and I haven't had that for a while. I like the plan. I like the hard working. Yeah.
Do you think it's the hope? Do you think because when a game you're not sort of build up to a game thinking we're going to get dumped? Do you think actually we're in with a chance of each game and at least getting something from the game?
Yeah, you said it in your video the other day. Like, you don't feel at any point this season you're going to see us get spanked 4-0. It might happen once. It might happen twice. You're going to play someone and they're going to tuck you in. But I always think we've got a chance. At no point in the Fulham game, the Sheffield United game, did I think, yeah, we're going to lose this game. I always thought it was going to be at least a draw or a win. And I've not had that since the last season at Upton Park, or when Pardew was the manager and we had this ability we called it bounce back ability. We always came back from behind. I think it was 12 times that season we came back from behind. And it's that vibe, like, I got that vibe about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's positive. going back to just the Newcastle one, what do you think happened there? I mean, the big theory is Diangana. That the Diangana sale shocks the players. Do you buy much of that?
Yeah, and I think, they had a few exciting players. Obviously, they've tallied off now. I work with a Newcastle fan, mate, and he said, I'm not even watching them anymore. He goes, until Bruce goes, I'm not watching them. So I think, Callum Wilson come in, St. Maxim and all that. They had all these nice, exciting, sparky players that we didn't have at the time. And I think we was just a bit like flat. We just didn't fancy it. Well, like I say, it's falling to pieces at Newcastle now. It seems that St. Maxim's had a row with Steve Bruce, and it just shows how.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently that's what my mate in work was saying, that he was going to be dropped, and instead of being dropped, he said, "I'm injured." So St. Maxim, he could be out the door. So yeah, I think it was just we weren't ready, and like you say, the Diangana stuff, the club was a bit poison at the time, and I don't know, something just went right from that moment.
It's funny, actually, what you're saying there about St. Maximin, because I think you've sort of stumbled on a point there, which is we don't seem to have any of those prima donnas, or none that I can particularly think of, that would do that, that would do an Arnautovic, or any of these ones actually. And I think this is why people like Fornals get played. I think this is why we sign players like Bowen. I felt when I was talking about when I did the Giroud the other day, and I was talking about our forward line being slow. I was very aware when I was editing the video afterwards. I thought, actually, I've damned Bowen with faint praise there. I think he's brilliant. I mean, I think he's sensational. I wasn't a criticism that I think he's a 7.5. If he was a FIFA player, I don't know if you play FIFA, right?
Yeah.
Right, they got the scores out of 100. Right, I don't know what Bowen is, but I would imagine he's 75 out of 100 for speed.
He's 75.
I think he's 75.
I think he's something like that.
Okay. And which is absolutely fine. But I'm just saying, in the team, you need a couple of 90s if you know what I mean.
Definitely. That's what I said the other day about our counter attack. We're just short of them pace, that killer pace. You always say it yourself, that killer pace, that St. Maxim, that Traore, someone you can just, right, you stay on the touchline and I'm going to ping it to you at some point and you're just going to run. We ain't got no one like that. Antonio's quite fast, but he's not blistering,
You're right. So, okay. Well, so what's Antonio then in a FIFA speed?
I think Antonio's 85 pace. I know that because he was in my team when I first played the game.
And do you think he is? Do you think he is an 85 pace?
About that. Purely because of the body weight he carries. He's a bit like an heavy sort of super middleweight boxer, isn't he? He's got that sort of build about him.
Yeah. Which, of course, once he gets ahead of steam, or once he gets going, of course, it's really hard for anyone to get past him.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not like they can sort of shoulder barge him off. So actually, that 85 for speed is worth a 90 in many respects. I do actually look at that and Traore. I look at Traore and I use one of my favourite players in the league. He really is. I mean, he's absolutely brilliant. And I look at him and I think, oh, Moyes would turn you into a striker in a heartbeat, mate. You'd be playing up front. You'd be running around on your own up front for West Ham.
We were close to getting him, I remember.
Yeah.
Because I remember him tearing us a new one when he was at Middlesbrough. And I said to my dad, and I was like, cool, we should be looking at him. And then
I was saying it at the same time, mate. I I really, really liked him, but I'm a sucker for a quick player who's got a trick.
Yeah. I used to love Savon Irons for us. He was one.
He was rapid.
I remember playing against Liverpool and he'd tore Glenn Johnson a new one, like that sort of play. Just raw pace.
Yeah. He was rapidly quick, and I do think it's funny actually, and this is why I think Moyes' project. And I think we can call it a project. And I know you've just done. I know you've done a video with Gio. You've sent in some about Moyes' contract. We won't talk about that. But I think we can certainly call what David Moyes is doing as a project. But I don't feel that he's quite got the personnel down. Now I think he makes the most of what he's got. But I do look at what he wants to do, and to be a counter-attacking team, you are so much better if you do have some outright pace in there. And I do wonder if he's looking at that. And I do look at Fornals, who I love, by the way, and who I think should be the guy as the second in charge to go and cover in central midfield. But I do think we're missing that outright pace there. I don't know what you think about this. When Moyes first came in, he put Felipe Anderson straight in the team. And he played him again. Then he played him as a number 10. So the couple of games we did play where Haller and Antonio played as a front two, he actually had Felipe Anderson sort of buzzing around it. I think he was desperate to get him in the team. I
Well,
think
he
he was
scored, didn't he?
desperate.
He scored against Bournemouth because I was at that game, Moyes' first game, but Anderson scored, didn't he, in that game?
So it was 4-1, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, he scored the last goal. Because I remember because I was a big Anderson, I was backing Anderson all the time, and I was like, God, I'm so relieved he scored. Now he might go on, and obviously we all know what's happened since. But yeah, because I was a big fan of Anderson, big fan.
So what do you reckon? Well, obviously, what do you think's happened? Without stating,
I don't know. I don't want to. I've got to be careful with my words here. I don't want to stigmatise some South American players, but I think they fall out of love with the game sometimes. These South American players, yeah, you look at someone like Tevez for a little while, he fell out of love with the game, and they just sort of, I don't know, they get a bit bored.
I think they're a long way from home as well.
And that as well, yeah, you've got to be thinking that as well.
And I know it shouldn't. I mean, the trouble is the money thing always gets thrown at footballers, doesn't it? Oh well, you're 100 grand a week, you should be able to take it. Yeah, I think that goes. I think it goes so far. But let's be fair. I don't know what footballers do, but I don't get the impression that they're all out with their 100 grand a week jet skiing and learning new skills. And I don't think they are. I actually think they're funny enough. We talk about FIFA. I think they sit round and play FIFA and do things like that. And I'm sorry, I don't care whether you're on £100 a week or 100 grand a week. You will eventually get bored doing that. And I don't think it's. I think if you're a long way from home, eventually you're gonna want to be around your friends and your family. So I do think there was a massive part of that with Felipe Anderson. But I also feel for him that there is
a good player in there. There is.
Yeah,
I
wish he had more
drive. He was really good.
I wish he had more drive and fight. If give him Fornells' personality.
You'd have a good player then. Well, top player.
I used to think it with Didier Drogba actually, and I used to look at Drogba, and he was fast and he was strong.
He was a monster.
And I just used to think, get up. Get up off the floor. You don't need to be down on the floor. And I always used to think, if I was that guy, right? If I was whatever, 6 foot 2, 6'3", 16 stone, and fast, I'd be knocking defenders flying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, and I do, and I think, I mean, there's a lot of players like that. It's not just him, but
Salah winds me up with that as well, mate. Like he's not as obviously bigger built, but it's like Salah.
Oh, at Liverpool.
It's like, mate, you've got all the skill to go around 6 players 4 times, and you still go over and dive for the penalty. That's what frustrates you when you get a real good player that still dives. Neymar's known for it as well. Do you know
what? I cannot stand Neymar. Right, me and my
mate. I'm not a fan, mate. I'm not a fan.
Oh, I love his skills. I've watched YouTube. I watched him take a corner. I think it was him. I watched him take a corner, then run and get the ball and head it in or something like that. He took the corner. He looked it right. He ran over. I mean, the geezer's got skills, and I love people like that. So I'm quite honest about it. I preferred watching Ronaldinho than any of these others. I prefer Ronaldinho to Messi. I know he ain't. I know goals. You got well, honestly, I really do. But Neymar. I'll tell you how much I dislike Neymar, right? When I was playing FIFA, right, I played a career mode. I don't play all the cards and all the rest of it. And I don't really play very much. I've not even got the new game. But when I play it, I dislike Neymar so much. His face annoys me, for starters. Right? And he was at rolling around eventually, did it? He does so much play acting, right? He came up for free in my career mode, and he was a 91 rated player or something like that. And I didn't sign him. Honestly, I didn't sign him at all, and I carried.
I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not.
No. I carried on with this little kid called Bodo, who was 82. Right, honestly, that was his name, Bodo. I carried on with him. I didn't want to sign Neymar. Yeah, I was a bit prejudiced against Neymar. Okay, so looking at what we are doing now, in terms of the team, in terms of what Moyes is trying to do, how far do you think he is away? I don't mean from his finished team. Who can you see going? Give us a couple of players who you can see going in the near future who don't feature as part of his plans. And you're not allowed to say Winston Reid or something like that.
Yeah. Mark Noble. No.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second, actually.
Yeah. It's tough, isn't it? It's really tough. Like you say, Fornells I'm a big fan of, but then as you say, mate, is he a Moyes one? Is he one that he's looking at going, actually, there's someone I can get in there with a bit of pace? Haller, definitely. Haller's going to go at some point. I just don't think he's got enough to rescue himself. It's a shame because I think played in the right way, he could probably get you 15 goals. I think if played in the right way. Defence, Balbuena potentially.
I think he seems to like him. I think he likes him. I think he had a real opportunity to drop him, and he didn't. He'd been jet lagged. He'd flown all over the place. Diop was fit. Diop had come on as a sub in the game before, and he still went with Balbuena.
Yeah.
I think he's
and
coming
been good.
out.
He's been good since he's been back as well. Bonner, no. Cresswell, no. Masuaku, he seems to fancy. Sufal, he seems to fancy. I think what a bigger question is about Rice, really. If Rice goes, then what's he going to do? Because then it's not so much him wanting to sell Rice. Will his hand be forced to sell Rice? And then it's how do you replace someone of that good, basically, for me. I think that's the big key bit to his management is how is he going to replace Declan Rice when that issue comes up?
Well, if they haven't got a list of 5 players already, then they're doing something very wrong.
Yeah.
Right,
there's an Ndidi out there. Like, I'm not saying Ndidi coming, but there's another Ndidi out there that you can go and replace with.
Oh, absolutely. But it ain't easy, and it's a tough position. And I think Declan Rice is just destined to be one of those players that's unappreciated by any club he's not playing at. I mean, he don't even get the love for the national team, and it's funny actually because football fans are funny, right? I don't think there's. Well, I know there's never been as much information out there to look at a game and look at a game of football as there is now. You don't just get to watch the games anymore. You can look at websites, you can look at stats, you can hear people analysing it, not just on Match of the Day. Yeah. You get to look at almost everything. So it sort of stands to reason that fans now should know more about the game than they did 20 years ago. Yet still, there seems to be this lack of understanding of what the stopper in the team does. Whatever, call him a CDM, call him what you want, but I always call him a stopper. That's his job. I mean, they've been around for donkey's years. I mean, they really have these players.
Yeah.
And actually a lack of understanding, yet still somebody who should really be cultured in football because they all support teams themselves. They still don't quite get it. When they turn around and say, well, he hasn't scored enough goals, he hasn't played a killer pass.
He doesn't play a 90-yard pass or whatever. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree.
That's no different as to saying, the right back don't score enough goals for me. He don't get into the box.
I don't know if you remember Makelele. Makelele at one point wanted the same amount of money at Real Madrid, as all the Galacticos, Zinedine, Figo, and all that. And they didn't give it to him. And obviously he left. I think he went to Chelsea. And then there's no coincidence that when Makelele went, they didn't win nothing for years because he was the man letting all the big boys play. And all we wanted was the same money.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, the thing is, nobody wants Makelele's shirt. And I do get that. I really do. It's always been the people that score the goals and the creators, they sell the most shirts at that point. Whatever, people would have wanted the Figo shirt, the Zidane shirt. I sort of get it. So they bring in more money. I sort of get that. But you can't have a team full of Zidanes. You can't have a team full of Ronaldinhos.
Someone's got to do the donkey work.
Of course you do. Of course they do. Look, I think what's going to happen with him, I don't know. But I do think in many respects, Chelsea they've not missed the boat, but they would have got him cheaper in the last window than they'll get him in the next.
Oh yeah, mate. If he has a good Euros, he's a £100 million player.
Well, this is exactly it. And I do. I look at it, and he is. I don't know. What do you think? I get the impression he's one of Southgate's main men. Yeah, Kane's the first guy on the team sheet, granted, but Rice ain't far behind.
Yeah. I think he's the one he trusts the most, mate. I do. I really do. I think he's the future. Definitely. I think Southgate, like you say, probably second, maybe third pick. Yeah,
but certainly. Right, before we finish up, it's something I've got to be honest, Luke. I find myself avoiding the subject of Mark Noble, sort of out of respect, really. But it's sort of the subject that's got to be addressed. So I'm gonna put the pressure onto you. Well, come on, tell me. I don't even have to give you the question. What's
having looked like him for the last sort of 3 years.
You do.
And all the kids in my school go, "Oh, it's Mr. Noble, Mr. Noble."
Oh my word! I never even thought about it.
It's a bit of the Barnet, a bit of the old nose as well.
Oh, you can't talk about noses on this channel, mate. You can't talk about noses on this channel. Please.
No, I'm a quarter French, so I'm a lad.
Oh, you are.
My granddad was French. My granddad was French, so I'm a lad.
You're related to Giroud, are you?
No. I think he's related to Ryland, and he's from the old TV show. Mark Noble. Well, the first ever video I did for my channel was about Mark Noble, actually, and that was 5 years ago. And I said about getting him out of the team because at the time we had Alex Song and people like that, and I was saying these people should be given a chance. Alex Song was a fantastic player for us at the time. He's a club legend, and I've got controversial opinions about Mark, but for me, he has held the team back for about the last sort of 3 years. For me, I think it's been a case of he's the captain, he has to play, we have to put him in, and I think Souček coming in now with Rice, we've arguably got two of the best together partnership. We've arguably got one of the best partnerships in the Premier League. Is he there for a sub, just to tick the ball over, after 75 minutes, bring him on and he's going to pass it left, right, backwards, keep it safe. I don't want to see him there beyond next season. So maybe one more, let him have that season with the fans, because he deserves it. Let him have that goodbye season. Not say play him.
Another season after this one, you think?
Yeah, if all the 60,000 are not back by the end.
Okay, no, that's a good point, actually, to be fair. His last season with no fans. Yeah, okay.
Like David Silva got it, Man City. Like he didn't get to say goodbye to the fans properly.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute legend, David Silva. Do you know what I mean? And for Mark to have that moment, possibly I don't know, another little mini testimonial thing for him to say goodbye. I don't know, but he deserves that. Do you know, like he deserves that 60,000. There's only one Mark Noble. He deserves that. Just for that reason only, he deserves it.
Well, the stadium's looking very empty behind you at the moment, Luke, I must say. Do you know what? And that's why I said you're a nice guy. That's why you're a nice guy. You're absolutely right. He doesn't deserve to go out to an empty stadium, for sure. But I do think it's an awkward one, and I do worry when I was pleased. I said in our review, I was pleased that they didn't do any swapping of the armbands and all the rest of it in the last game. I do like that. I'm not even sure that Declan Rice needs to be announced officially as the club captain. I think people know. And I think it's enough. And I do think that might be a touch disrespectful. I don't think you need to. But by the same token, I do get the impression that when Noble comes onto the pitch, because I think you're a nice guy, but also I think David Moyes is a nice guy. I know he's a a stern sergeant major type, but I do think he's a bit of a softie actually. And I do wonder if, like that little appearance that you get with Mark Noble on there, I wonder if that's anyone but Mark Noble. I don't think he comes on the pitch there.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I think it's just saying, you're captain.
It's a fan sweetener as well. Like you got to think, Moyes is a very Marmite. I know me and you quite like him, but he's a very Marmite figure among the fan base. So if you're going to say, "Oh, Mark Noble, that's it, you're out." That's it. He's killed the other half of the fan base with it. Do you know what I mean? So keeping Mark Noble sweet and knowing that Mark Noble's the fan in the dressing room, I think it helps Moyes out. It does. It helps him out.
Well, I think he'd be all right with that, to be fair, because it's funny, as a paradox to West Ham. Well, so West Ham fans, football fans, we are fiercely loyal to never change team, but we can be fickle with players. You know what I mean? Once you're not, and it has to be that way, by the way. Once you're not good enough, no longer good enough for the first team, then that has to be it. Surely, it doesn't mean you don't get onto the pitch and and do some bits and pieces at some point, but there's no way that within that system, that he can get in ahead of Souček or Declan Rice. They are operating a level above Mark Noble could do at the moment, because Father Time's got up with him. Right, listen, mate, you're going to stick around and help me talk about Aston Villa in a video which will go up tomorrow, right?
Yeah, lovely, mate. Cheers.
Right, okay, well, listen, thank you. What I will say is, officially, we're going to carry on chatting. Officially, for now, thank you for joining us, and just plug your channel quickly, please, mate.
Mate, please, thank you very much for inviting me on anyway, mate. Please subscribe to the Free Hammers, hit the notification bell and all that. Give us a like, give us some comments. We do a live podcast every week where we interact, read out every single comment, answer every single question. So, yeah, catch us on one of them. It'd be nice to have some new people over. Thanks a lot.
No, nice one. Right, we will catch up with you. Well, I'm looking up there. The camera's not there. We will catch up. See, this is this new computer. It's doing my nutting. We'll catch up with you tomorrow.